Hey guys, in a recent video I was talking about the fact that I have a hell of a lot of ships, but most of them are for TV and film, so I didn't really want to talk about them in that specific video because I was talking about books. But then Ali Rose Reeves, who I will link down below, created the Shakespearean couples tag, which could be about any ship possible, if that was TV, film, theatre or whatever. So I'm going to do it now because it's Valentine's Day and I just really want to talk about a few more of my ships that aren't necessarily in books. Question number 1 is Romeo and Juliet. Name a beloved couple that you either just can't get behind or one that you would risk everything for. For me, this is Lucas and Serena from The Daughter of the Burning City. For me, I just could not get behind their romance, if I'm honest. I know quite a lot of people love their romance, but for me personally, I just really couldn't get behind it. Mostly because I didn't like Serena as a character. I just generally didn't find her that interesting to watch, or that sort of, like, I didn't find her that compelling to read about or anything, so I just couldn't get behind her love story, to be honest. Number 2 is Beatrice and Benedict from Much Ado About Nothing. Name a couple with the wittiest banter of all, and I have to say pepperoni, as in Pepper Potts and Tony Stark from the MCU. I don't know about the comics because I haven't read any Marvel comics yet that involve Tony and Pepper, but at least in the films they are so witty and like filled with so much banter and everything. I absolutely love their relationship and I love watching them on screen, and I was so happy when Pepper turned up at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming because I've missed her so much and I've so missed seeing her and Tony together. And how that ended and everything else, I won't say it in case you still haven't watched Spider-Man Homecoming. If you haven't, what are you doing with your life? But I love the ending and everything it implied and how much Happy ships it and everything. It's just, I love their banter, I love their couple. They are probably my biggest MCU ship of the films. Number 3 is Hamlet and Ophelia. Name a lady who deserved better. And that, I would have to say, is Kate from the Monsters of Verity series by V.E. Schwab. Kate just deserved better. To be honest, not from August, because August treated her very, very well. And they're not necessarily a couple, because they kind of don't have a love story, but they kind of do. In a way, they're at least very, very drawn to each other, and they do have a make-out scene. But apart from that, I don't know if I would count them as a couple, but I'm going to count them as a couple. But Kate, as herself, her ending, I think she just deserved better, to be honest, because she'd fought so hard for so long to, like, protect the city and protect her friends and everything. And to end like that just really, really saddened me. Question number 4 is, I'm going to have to read this, and I apologise now if I get any of these names wrong. Shakespeare is not my strong point, but Hermia and Lysander and Demetrius and Helena from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Name a love triangle / square / octagon that left your head spinning, and that has to be the love between Hook, Emma, Mila and Rumple in Once Upon a Time, because their love quadrangle confuses me. Because, right, so spoilers here for Once Upon a Time if you haven't watched it, but Mila and Rumple were married and they had a kid. But then Mila ran off with Hook for years, and then that caused Hook and Rumple to hate each other, hence the crocodile thing. And then Mila died, but then Hook fell in love with Emma, and by this point Emma had already fallen in love with Hook's and then Emma had already fallen in love with Rumple and Mila's son and had a kid, but then she ended up with Hook. And I think I've got that right. I think. But then also Rumple also trained the adoptive mother of Emma's son in magic, and they kind of had a thing, and Rumple also had a kind of thing with her mother. It's essentially the love quadrangle family, whatever it is in Once Upon a Time, confuses the hell out of me. I used to kind of know what was going on in that show, and it's been a while. It's been like a year since I watched it. I haven't watched Series 7. I'm not planning on watching Series 7, but it just is mind-boggling. I have absolutely no idea how that quadrangle worked, because there were so many cross-sleeping with each other, and people running off with each other and falling in love with other people's kids and stuff and ending up all over the place, and it was very, very odd, and it was just the biggest love quadrangle that just boggled my mind, essentially. If there's any other quadrangles or like triangles or anything like that that's more confusing, I don't want to know, because I can barely get my head around that one, to be honest. Question number 5 is Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. Name a true power couple. And is there any power couple more powerful than Meredith and Derek from Grey's Anatomy? Like, they were the biggest, like, surgical power couple ever. Also, he was Prince Charming all over. Like, wow. He was beautiful and kind, and he was so Prince Charming. It was absolutely wonderful, and I loved him. And then they killed him, which really wasn't fun. But, I mean, him and Meredith were amazing, because he understood her so well. She is rather messed up mentally because of everything that's happened to her, but he totally understood that. And, like, they didn't exactly rule the hospital, but they were totally, like, connected. A lot of the time, they had their ups and downs, but, Meredith and Derek. I adore them. I still love them so much, and I will love them till the day I die, essentially. Just Meredith and Derek are just the power couple of Grey's Anatomy, if not the power couple to end all power couples. Number 6 is Kate and Petruccio. Again, I have no idea how to pronounce these. I have not read half of these plays, and I've definitely not seen them live, so I've got no idea how I'm pronouncing this. These are from The Taming of the Shrew, and the question is, name a hate to love couple that you either love or love to hate. And for me, that has to be Buttercup and Wesley from The Princess Bride. More specifically, Buttercup and the Dread Pirate Robbers. And I'm not calling that spoilers, because that book and that film has been out for like 30 years. It's like older than me. So if you don't know The Princess Bride, go pause this video and go watch it now. Go read it now, go watch it now. It's amazing. They are amazing, and I'm going to count them as hate to love because they loved each other before he left, and she thought he was the Dread Pirate Robert, so it counts, okay? It counts. Then Rosalind and Orlando from As You Like It. Name a slow burn, steady love that you can really get behind. Brennan and Booth from Bones. Just Brennan and Booth. They were the longest slow burn ever. I mean, seriously, they took like 7 seasons to get together or something ridiculous, and they only really got together that quickly because the actress who plays Brennan in real life was pregnant, and they had to write that in. And they also had to kill off Vincent Nigel Murray, which I will never, ever, ever, ever forgive the writers for. But just Booth and Brennan were absolutely amazing. They had so many ups and downs and everything, and you could tell that they loved each other from the beginning, and they had kissed on their first ever kiss, as you find out in the 100th episode, and the way they look at each other and everything the whole way through, and how when they decide to have a baby together because she's pregnant and it's his, and they just decide that they're going to start living together and try and make a go of it and everything. It's just, their love is beautiful. I love Booth and Brennan. I love Booth and Brennan so much. They were such a slow burn, but it was worth it in the end. It was so worth it to see them come together like that and become the family unit that they became. I love it. I love them. The next one is Desdemona and Othello, which is a love that turns sour. Ross and Demel's a poldark because disclaimer here, I have only ever watched the TV show, and that is the Aidan Turner TV show, because look at Aidan Turner, and then I got really, really involved in the storyline, but I originally started watching it for Aidan Turner, and I'm now sort of considering reading the books, though I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to like the books or anything, because I don't generally read in that writing style. I'm still kind of considering it at the moment, but yeah, Ross and Demel's a poldark, because Ross is a twat. I mean, I love him, but he's such a twat. Like, really, if you haven't watched the TV series, essentially, this video is a massive spoiler for everything, but Ross is a twat, and he sleeps with Elizabeth, I'm forgetting her name, the one he was in love with before he met Demelza and he went off to war and all the rest of it. He slept with her, And I couldn't believe it. I was shouting at the screen. I went off him at that point. That was like the lowest of the low moment. And he started making it up to Tomatoes. And then he just crashed and burned again. And he never, ever learned. To be honest, I will always love the scene where Ross comes home and Demelza knows exactly what Ross has done and she slaps him. To be honest, that was the most iconic moment of the entire show so far. And just, it's seriously a love turned sour. They're still together, but it's very rocky at the moment. And I don't exactly know how they're going to get past this, if I'm honest. I have no idea how they're going to get past this, but I'm very excited to find out. But, it's a love that has turned seriously sour over the years. It started out quite rocky, and now it's just evolved into this, like, sour. They kind of love each other, but they kind of hate each other at the same time, and they have so much to work through and so much to, like, deal with. They need serious couples therapy, but you're just so addicted to watching it. I love Ross and Demelza. I can't help it, even though they are a love that has turned sour and Ross is a twat, but I love that series. I love Poldark. The final question is Antonio and Basinio? Again, no idea how I'm pronouncing this. I've probably got it wrong. Don't kill me, please. But they're from The Merchant of Venice, and the question is, name a between the lines couple that you ship. There's only one for this, isn't there? John Locke. It's just, John Locke are the ultimate between the lines ship. I know I haven't read the books, but I've seen a lot of quotes from the books, and I've read meta on it and everything, because I'm severely in love with BBC Sherlock, if you can't tell. I'm seriously in love with BBC Sherlock, and I ship it like you wouldn't believe. And, I mean, they are the ultimate couple of, like, not exactly forbidden love, but yeah, forbidden love in that era, the Victorian era, but now it's so between the lines and seeing, like, I mean, I will always adore the idea of the Garradebs with the three Garradebs scene where Sherlock thinks John is dead and he literally turns to the guy who shot him and says, if he's dead, you will not walk out of here alive. And John describes that moment as the moment he finally knows exactly how much Sherlock feels for him and things, and I live for that moment, and I'm still expecting BBC Sherlock to do it at some point. And when they do, I'm probably going to cry. And I mean proper tears of joy and happiness, and if they don't kiss I won't be happy. But it's like, John Locke is just the ultimate between the lines ship, isn't it? It's just the ultimate thing that just crosses every, like, adaptation ever. And to be honest, if you don't add that into your adaptation, and for me, you don't understand their relationship, because it's such a, like, relationship where they just keep on going back to each other and they will protect each other through anything, and they're just, how much life and joy and everything they bring each other, and they're two men that desperately want acceptance, and the two of them accept each other, and I love it. And they're the ultimate between the lines ship. They're the ultimate ship. If somebody does not make them canon at some point in my lifetime, I'm not going to be pleased, because I need canon John Locke in my life. That is the end of the Shakespearean couples tag. As for who I'm going to tag next, I don't actually know who I'm going to tag next, because I'm not exactly sure who wants to do it and who's really interested in Shakespearean couples and all the rest of it. And I feel like as I'm uploading this on Valentine's Day, I'm going to be a bit late. So what I'm going to say is, if you are a small booktuber who is under 1,000 subscribers or over 1,000 subscribers or anything like that, if you consider yourself a small booktuber, you are officially tagged to do this tag, because I'm not exactly sure who would want to do it or anything, but essentially small booktubers, consider yourself tagged in this video. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. I will leave down below all the links to all of my social media if you want to check any of those out, especially if you want to fangirl with any of these couples I've talked about. Please do comment down below or message me on social media. All the links are down below if you want to check them all out. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, guys, bye!